What is going on in the garden this summer? Uh-oh. I wanted to show you my midsummer garden and how many pears we have hanging on the pear tree. There's a lot of pears here. Did an excellent job pruning this year. A friend by the name of Gregory came by. By doing the pruning that he did, it has really allowed the fruit to prosper. And this is the pear tree. Let me show you the Wanuchi early apple tree. Now, I've already picked quite a bit from this tree, and you can tell there's still quite a bit there. Look at all that. So many apples. I have been picking and sharing my produce with the William Temple House Food Pantry and with the Center for Positive Aging Food Pantry. The Liberty apple will be ripe and ready in another probably month, whereas the Wanuchi early is ready right now. But this is some of the Liberty apples here. They're still pretty small, whereas you can tell the Wanuchi early apples are already getting their blush on them. In fact, the squirrels and birds are already getting to them. What I'm doing in a case where squirrels and birds get to them before I do is I pick them and put them in here, and then I'm going to make applesauce out of those. I'll wash them up and cut out the bird peck and make some delicious applesauce. The fig trees, figs are just babies. They have quite a ways before they get soft enough to and sweet enough to harvest. But we're going to have quite a few figs too, which is always exciting, seeing what's going on in the garden. The other thing is I want to show you the Aronia bush. Aronia berries are ripe right now and in great shape. I've already picked quite a few of them. I'll show you what they look like. When they're ripe, they're dark like this to a black color. And these berries, I harvest them and then put them in an apple juicer that makes juice and turn them into Aronia juice. Over here, this is the part I haven't cut back, haven't used yet. So this shows you the growth pattern of the Aronia berries and how they get heavy and then they bend over, so they're a lot easier to pick. What I do with the really tall ones like that is I will just prune off that and then just take the whole thing and take the berries off of it, because you have to prune the plant anyway. Might as well prune it when you're picking so it doesn't get too tall the following year. But yeah, the Aronia juice is full of antioxidants, and it tastes, it kind of tastes like a wine without the alcohol. It doesn't have a real sweet taste, but it doesn't have a real bitter taste either. It's a really nice, complicated, I don't want to say medicinal. Whatever you think of really dark red wine, that's what this tastes like. The persimmons, got baby persimmons on there. They're not anywhere near ripe because see how small they are. They're going to be about that big when they're ripe. So they've got a lot of ripening to do. But I do have a good amount of persimmons on the tree this year. I've had quite a few that have fallen off. What happens is down here, these are the persimmons that have weeded themselves off. In fact, this is actually persimmon. And then this is the little house it was on. Gives you an idea. This is one that came off the tree, whereas this is the little house behind it. And then there's the persimmon. So I've gone through and did some thinning myself, because otherwise branches break. But it also does a lot of its own self-thinning. I also have a little volunteer this year. Looks like a squash plant of some sort. So I put a tomato cage around it, been watering it, see what kind of squash we get. And then I also wanted to show we've got the second crop of blonde raspberries that are working their way up. Little bee doing its work. And plenty of wood sorrel. I'm going to be making some deviled eggs today, so I'll be picking some wood sorrel to go as a decoration and a condiment on that. I want to show you something in the front yard. It's a tiny thing, but it's something that just looks so adorable. Little tiny tomato plant. Hang on, little tomato. Got a tomato plant. We've got some oregano that I've cut several times and it keeps coming back. That is a kale plant I planted last year, and it's still looking good this year. I have some people coming over this afternoon to harvest the seeds from the Love and a Mist plant, because they've got the little black seeds inside there. And then when those seeds are gone, when those plants are gone, then I'm also going to cut back that lemon balm so that it can come back again. And here's the oregano that I cut back, and it's coming back again. So I just am so amazed and so grateful for a working garden. In fact, I just finished harvesting the blueberries. There's still a handful of blueberries that are almost ripe, but it is near the end of the season for this particular variety. And the sorrel, front yard leaf sorrel, getting a little burned with the sun we've been having lately. But underneath, there is unburned. Unburned instead of sunburned. I cut back all the oregano that was here, and it will grow back again. My Lunaria Honesty plant. These are, oh good, somebody came by and picked some of it. I wanted, I've also offered this on our local garden site and Buy Nothing site so that people can come by and get these for dried flower arrangements or to get the seeds out of them, because I want to get back in there and prune this down so it doesn't take over. It's some sprouts from this ornamental cherry tree. You know, there is always something to be done in the garden. Thanks for taking a little tour through the garden with me today, and thanks for watching Barb Talks.